Welcome to Listen to the Market and Q&A for the weekend of March 3rd, 4th. So far we've been focusing on achieving certain results, a certain desired outcome in terms of trading. And we're focusing on more than just the entry rules and the exit rules in through there. We know that we need to encompass campaign management rules in terms of how do we manage that campaign. I've focused a little bit on the money management aspect, the position sizing, more to come on that. This weekend I want to focus on the U part. That's quite often, as I've mentioned before, is the missing element that is the difference between success and real success. Now in terms of looking at the U part of the equation, the parallel that I want to draw for you may not be initially obvious, but will become obvious as I go through it. A Formula 1 racing car driver. What has that got to do with trading? Well, the first thing you'll notice from the photo, besides the car being red and red ones go faster, is this car is the leader of the pack. Isn't that where every trader wants to be? A winner in the front row? That's the quest, I guess. First thing you notice about a racing car is that only one seat, solo driver, one trader, sole responsibility, sole accountability. Parallel there. Another parallel between becoming a successful Formula 1 driver and a successful trader is the training and the theory. Now, a Formula 1 driver gets taught that some of the laws of physics, for example, what happens when they brake too hard into a corner or accelerate too hard out of a corner. Likewise with trading, one needs to have the background, the theory, the knowledge of the market. How does it trade? What are the trading hours? What sort of orders are acceptable before starting to trade, rather than discovering it as you go. Another parallel is simulation. The racing car driver doesn't just pay the money and hop into a Formula 1 car worth $1 million or more, go to the racetrack and start racing against other racers, other traders. Simulation mode, demo mode for a trader. It's never been easier. Use the demo to hone your skills in terms of the process of the recognition of the setups, the process of entering the order accurately, the process of position sizing accurately, the process of managing the position accurately. Get the process right, the results will be there. Go for the results, they may or may not elude you. Next parallel there is what? Physical. Physical fitness does play a role, obviously, with a racing car driver, perhaps not so obviously with a trader. Food for thought, intentional pun. Next aspect that needs to be considered in terms of parallel is the racing car driver is very much in the here and now. They can't afford to be thinking about the weekend coming or the weekend that's been. They have to focus on the here and now. Where are they? How is the car performing? What's the track like? Where are the other traders? Where are the other cars? Likewise with a trader. Now is all that exists. Now is their total reality. Conditions of the track and the context play an important part in terms of a racing car driver. Is the track wet? Is it dry? Is it oily? Is it dusty? Is the wind coming? Where are you in relation to the pack? Likewise, the trader needs to be aware of, is this a trending phase of the market? Is this a congesting phase of the market? What techniques do I apply? What setups do I go for? Context and conditions. Spare parts. The racing car driver has a backup of spare parts. The successful trader has the same backup computer, backup ISP. Don't you have that? Next part, backup team. Racing car driver has a backup team, is in constant comms with the back room, with the garage, with the mechanics, with the trainer. Traders likewise need that backup team. They need to know that there's someone there on their side. Now that's an interesting one in terms of the broker. What happens if your or their system goes down? You have a position, you need to get in touch. Well, normally that happens in less than opportune times. I recall the crash of '87 where all the telephone lines were jammed. Again, something to consider before you start trading, before that situation arises for you. Petrol tires. The racing car driver knows how many miles or kilometers they can get out of their petrol tank or out of their tires. Likewise, a trader needs to know how many losses in a row, what size of drawdown, before you have to go to the pit stop and reconsider. And the final one is constant assessment. The racing car driver is constantly assessing what they're doing, how they're doing, where they are, how they're performing. Likewise, a trader needs to be constantly assessing. Am I following the process? Am I attending? Am I being accountable? Am I? All issues that people tend to shy away from. And one really important one. A racing car driver knows that winning one race will not make him the champion for the year. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So these many parallels I urge you to consider, and to consider in the eyes of your own involvement or desired involvement in trading the markets. Let's now move along to looking at some charts. First question to address is the L.I.V.E approach, only for Euro USD. Well, I've answered that before. On the screen you can see two of my favorites, both of them being applied on what I call a bread and butter approach, which is using 6-hour charts. And with these charts you can see how nicely the top here was picked before the fall in both the gold market and the silver market. The rally here in silver was picked by a nice little dip buy in through there, as well as an RTV buy, getting along before the rush of blood to the head. The reason I'm sharing this with you is not everyone is suited, nor is their lifestyle suited, to the 15-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute approach. The bread and butter approach, 6-hour, means that one needs to attend only 4 times a day, so one can fit in sleep in the interim period. Another aspect to look at in terms of the L.I.V.E approach is, what about shares? Well, again, the same bread and butter approach on Apple, for example, and Microsoft. Again, you can start to see and discern great little setups like an IPO in here, FO in through there, RTV buy in there, RTV buy in there, staircase to heaven buy, IPO in there, staircase to heaven buy. So the more you work with charts, the more you work with setups, the more you start to see, the more you become able to profit from. And that's really the bottom line, profiting from patterns. So thank you for watching the weekend Q&A. Don't forget, on Monday you'll be getting a live report on actual real-time, real money trading using the L.I.V.E approach. That's it from me, over and out. Bye for now.